For me, what is important is to find a dialogue between those who stay behind and those who go away. Sometimes the dialogue is very difficult and it's a conflict, it's a war, clearly. In the society where I come from, in Senegal, I had both. And I just can't split myself. I don't want to split myself. I just have to accept that I have both and to find what both can do together. Of course, it's not easy. Of course, I can't deny the fact that some parts came to me through domination, through a very violent history. I can't forget that. At the same time, it's here now. For example, I can't reject the fact that I write in French. I don't forget that French came in Senegal through colonization, but now it's here. It's my language, with Wolof and Serer as well. Serer is my mother tongue and Wolof is the most spoken language in Senegal. Now I just have to deal with that as a Senegalese writer writing in French, to write in French, but to put very important elements, cultural elements from Senegal through French, so that French is not just a tool, it's a way for me to express who I am, and to express the fact that I'm the heir of at least two cultural traditions, very, very different. Many people in Senegal are in my situation, and many of them try to deal with that situation, and every person try to deal with that. We don't always find the same solution. I know that some other are in very violent situation because we don't always find the right balance between both. In my book, I wanted to show an African writer going through Europe and being an African, fully an African, but being at the same time an effect of what colonization was or is. Colonization is a constant violence because colonization is not in the past. Maybe historically it is, but we mustn't forget that the effects of colonization are very deep and very long in the societies that were colonized, in the imaginaries, psychologically, the way people think, the way they speak between them, and the structures of the society are still marked very deeply by that story. Of course, many African countries are, all of them, independent, of course, politically, but the effects are not always visible. There are more inside effects, and we have to bear in mind that it's something very important. French, of course, French is a language, but French is not only a language in Senegal, or in Gabon or in Congo. Symbolically, French is the colonial language as well. And the question from that point of view is that what is the relation between French and other language? Why in Senegal, for example, young children have to go in school and start to learn French instead of learning in their own language? That's a question. And the answer is very simple, because of colonization. It's a very practical, concrete effect. And of course, the relation now, the political relation, are still very difficult. Another concrete example, when you have a French passport, you can go to Senegal without having a visa. When you have a Senegalese passport, you can't come in France without a visa. And the question is why? Of course, we have a system, we have that kind of inequality, but you also have that question of colonization. And the effects are very concrete in every field of the society. It wasn't it was something big and deep. It wasn't just a parenthesis. It wasn't just a story in brackets. It started there, okay, it was violent, and then it's the end. No, we can't just put a bracket at the end and say, okay, in the 1960 it was the end of colonization because you have your independence. It doesn't work like it, because you forget that human beings are not just you forget that human beings are also mental structures, and the deepest and fiercest, hardest part of colonization is something mental. In many African countries, you have some military camps in the country, but I mean French military camps. It also go through the just money, the money we use in Senegal or in Guinea or in Mali, or what we call the franc CFA. It wasn't our own money. I mean, all the rules, the structure, the organization was directed and led by France in a way. So yeah, I don't want to say that. I don't want to be seen as an, I don't know, a very politically very angry man. It's just facts. I know I'm very, of course, very. I write in French, so French is not an enemy for me, but at the same time, I'm aware of that fact that it's not my mother tongue, and I try to find solution. But what I can do, another one can't do it, and face some other problem. That's just fact, and that's our history. And now the most important part is the future, of course, but to build a future together, because we are all human, because we all want peace, I hope. We have to look further in front of us, but we can't do it without understanding very deeply what happened and what is colonization, if we talk about colonization.